name is Brian Ayers from Rugged Fitness, and today we're going to go over filling out our Wellness Vision Worksheet from our YourPath program. So if you haven't done it already, I want you to go ahead and print one of these out. The link should be right next to the video if you're on our website. Make sure you have that all printed out and ready to go so that you can fill this out as I talk about it. The first section here is what is your long-term goals that you feel can be accomplished through exercise and proper nutrition. So essentially, what are the outcome goals that you're looking to achieve by starting your health and fitness journey? That's going to be really important because we need to have goals in mind so that we can visualize where our success is going to be, and then also gives us little things that we can plan our targets for along the way. Okay, and that's really what this worksheet is going to be about. It's going to be about identifying really what it is you want to achieve and then how you can go about achieving it, so we can kind of draw that roadmap to get to your success. So once you've come up with at least, let's say 2 or 3, maybe 4 outcome goals that you'd like to achieve, and those can be things like, you want to improve your performance on a 5K, you want to drop some weight, you want to get stronger, you want to build muscle, kind of more the general type of goals that most people have going into the program. Now what I want you to do is, on the next section here, is to really take a minute to picture yourself being successful in all those things. Because part of being successful is being able to visualize achieving your goals. Right? So if you really can see yourself in the place that you want to be, it's going to be a lot easier for us to help you get there. Okay? So once you take that moment and really visualize you being successful, I want you to write down how that's going to change your life. Right? So how achieving your goals really make actual change. Right? So if you want to lose weight, why do you want to lose weight? Right? So if it's just because you want to fit into a certain pair of pants, it's maybe not the best way to visualize it, because at the end of the day, you could really just go buy another pair of pants if it's just the pants. But it's more than the pants, right? Try to connect on an emotional level as to what it is that's going to be different in your life once you've dropped that weight. All right? And start jotting down in this area a couple things that come to mind when you think in terms of really visualizing that success. So from there, we're going to move, once we've gone through all that, we've kind of connected with the why. The why is it important for you to achieve these goals? Now let's look through different areas of your life. And what we're identifying is 4 pillars of health and fitness. Okay? And we're going to go over in another video what that's all about. But basically, what it breaks down to is exercise behaviors, nutrition behaviors, overall emotional health, and then recovery practices. Okay? Those are really the 4 pillars that develop the foundation for a healthy, active, fitness-driven lifestyle. Okay? So in exercise behaviors, on a scale of 1 to 10, right? And again, 10 isn't perfect. 10 is just where do you see yourself in that health and wellness success, right? Where you visualize yourself just above there in that end range of being successful. What type of exercise are you engaging in as a successful person? Where do you want to see yourself growing to as an end goal? And then from there, you want to determine where are you now, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being what you want to achieve, where are you? Are you at a 4? Are you at a 3? How close are you to achieving that? And then do the same thing through all these other things. The you that's successful, above and visualizing that end goal, that person is engaging in a certain amount of nutrition and has a certain relationship with food and eating habits. Where do you see that as a 10? Where do you see yourself now? Okay, and then in emotional health, again, a 10 doesn't mean you have no stress and everything is great, because in reality, there's no such thing as having no stress. Really, it's how do you manage stress? How do you feel at the end of the day overall? Are you happy? Is your life getting that fulfillment? And if that's a 10, right, where you fall right now, right, in terms of stress and overall ability to just manage your life, right? Because that's a very important part of this whole process, because those are the things that are going to ultimately determine how much emotional energy you have to invest in all these other areas, right? Because making change takes effort, it takes work. And if you're already stressed out and you're already emotionally in not such a great place, well, maybe that's an area that we want to work on in conjunction with all this stuff, because then that's going to help boost and develop these other areas. And then recovery practices. That's things like sleeping, getting proper hydration, proper stretching or foam rolling, right? Mobility work. All the things that you do to recover and rebuild from exercise. And if you're not exercising very much now, chances are you're probably not doing a lot of recovery stuff either. But just overall sleep in your general day and how those things play into the emotional health and the nutrition behaviors. All these things are very interconnected, which is why we kind of look through and see where are you in all these, right, on that scale of 1 to 10. That's going to help develop which one is the biggest gap. Where do we have a really glaring deficiency, and where can we start working on that? Then from there, just to the right of that column, right over here, you see a little area that says, what are your next steps in reaching your 10? So if you're at a 4 and a 5 and different areas in over here, if you're at a 5 on exercise, right over here in this column, I want you to write a 6. And then I want you to write what's the first step, what's the first change you can make to say, okay, 3 months from now, if I'm doing this, I'll be able to say on a scale of 1 to 10, I've moved up from a 5 to a 6. Okay? So that's what I want you to do with each one of these little areas over here, is take wherever you are here, put one number ahead, and then try to think about what change you can start to make over the next 3 months that's going to get you to feel like you've moved and advanced in those areas. Right? From there, once you kind of, just 1 or 2 words, a couple little things on here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take all the things that you came up with in this column, and we're going to turn them into goals down here. Okay? So the next block is going to be based on those steps. What are your 3-month goals for exercise, nutrition, emotional health, and recovery? So we want to set just one intention or one goal for each of these areas to move you one step closer. So what we want to really look at in that section is to start developing what we call SMART goals. And SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. All right? And if you have any questions on that stuff, we have other articles and stuff that we're going to go over in our programs. If you go to our exercise library page on rurugged.com, you're going to see a SMART goal setting article that we wrote. Okay, so if you have questions about how to really set those goals properly, go to that resource and look it up. And then also when you meet with a coach one-on-one to go over this, they can also help you kind of redevelop those goals so that the more specific, the more measurable, the more they fit into that acronym, the more successful you're going to be in them, because it's going to be easier to be able to utilize those goals in a way that's going to help move you forward. After you've determined what your goals are for the next 3 months, now let's look down to the next section, and is what obstacles do I anticipate encountering over the next 3 months. So one of the biggest things in life that throw people off track are getting blindsided by obstacles, right? So if you set a bunch of goals and you think ahead just from the logistics standpoint of achieving them, what kind of things in your regular daily life usually stumble you, right? Where are the areas where you usually run up against the wall? Because we want to write those down right now, anticipate that those may be a problem, and then the next step down from there are what are the strategies that we can start to come up with to anticipate. Once we anticipate those goals, how do we strategize to overcome them when we encounter them? All right, so that way you go in knowing full well that work is an obstacle, and then you can say, all right, well, what are my strategies for dealing with my work obstacle and still achieving these goals? So we can be more successful by strategic planning. Right? And then finally, once you've come up with all that stuff, I want you to go down and think about where are we starting this week? All right, so what small goals, right, really small achievable goals can I set for myself this week that are going to eventually lead me in the direction of achieving these 3-month goals? All right, so you can see what we've done here is we've taken your outcome goals, the big goals that everybody has. We've identified why they're important. We've identified how far we are away from them and what we need specifically to do as a first step to achieving those. Then down here, we set goals around these initial steps to say, this is what I'm intending to do to achieve this. Identified those obstacles, figured out how do we get around them, right? And ultimately determined what's our starting point right now. What are the action steps that we can start doing this week that's going to move us in the right direction? Okay, so that's our Wellness Vision Worksheet. What I want you to do is fill that out first before you meet with a coach. That way you can take this in with you to them, and they can go over it, see what you've done, and help make modifications for you, kind of brainstorm some new ideas and strategies to help start making that whole thing work. All right, thanks for tuning in, and check back again soon. We're going to have lots of videos coming up on this motivation stuff, some exercise, some nutrition stuff, pretty much working in all those 4 pillars that we just discussed. All right, thanks a lot, and as always, live rugged.